So I have no idea when the market's going to go down and no idea when it's going to go up. But I'll guarantee you the market will be a lot higher in 15 years. It'll be a lot higher in 25 years. What it's going to do in the next 1 or 2 years, I don't have any idea. And if somebody in this room knows about it, they're not telling anybody. Or they're not in this room. They're down in Palm Springs somewhere. You know, they've made $1 billion. Or if they know anything about interest rates. Because in interest rates, if you can be right 5 times in a row in 10 grand, you can have $2 billion. There's not that many people with $2 billion. There's a lot of people predicting interest rates. Did you ever think about that one? Just 5 times right in a row in 10 grand, $2 billion. So I don't worry about that. I know we've had 96 years of century, and the market's fallen 53 times. We've had 53 declines of 10% or more. So 53 declines in 96 years. Once every 2 years, we have a 10% decline. Of the 53 declines, 15 have been 25% or more. So 15 in 96 years, about once every 6 years, the market falls 25% or more. That's what we call a bear market, you know that. And it's going to happen. I don't care when it's going to happen. I would love to know. Obviously, it would be very useful to know when it's going to happen. It doesn't make a difference to me. Corporate profits will be a lot higher 8 years from now, a lot higher 16 years from now, a lot higher 30 years from now. That's what I deal with.
So the stock market has fallen pretty much 10% every 2 years for the last, let's say, 100 years. And every about 10 years, it falls about 25%. So the stock market goes up and down. As an investor, what you need to know is that the stock market will go up and it will go down. And no one knows when that's going to happen. No one can tell you if it's going to go up tomorrow or down the next day, or up this year and down the next year. Nobody. Not Warren Buffett, not Charlie Munger, not Mark Cuban, not the people you see on TikTok or everyone you see on CNBC. None of them know what the future holds. All they know is what they've seen in the past. And they can project that onto what's happening now and get an idea for what might happen in the future. You can do the same thing. You've seen what's happened in the past. You've seen all the crashes. You've seen all the corrections, all the dips. And then you've seen all the ways we've gotten out of it. Right? You've seen us get out of huge declines in our markets. In the Great Depression, in the early 2000s, in the housing market crash, in the COVID crash. And we're going to have more crashes. There might be one in 5 years. There might be one in another 10 years. There might be one tomorrow. Something might happen tomorrow. Back in the day, we had World War II, and the stock market survived. We had World War I, the stock market survived. We've been through this over and over again. That's how the market works. And over all of that time, we've seen the market only go up and to the right. Over 100 years, we can look at it. We can look at all the graphs. And in the same time periods, we've seen the consumer price index, which is used to gauge how inflation is going to move, also go up and to the right. And we've seen the producer price index, which is similar for the cost of goods being produced by the producers, go up and to the right. We've seen the value of the dollar go up, very far up, then fall back down, and then go up again, trade sideways for a little bit, then dip, and then go back up. And then it keeps moving. All you have to know is that it's going to keep happening. And what you can do with that information is figure out whether or not you trust your government, the United States government, to figure out a way to rebound from any crashes that will happen in the future. Do you believe that the U.S. government is going to fail and the country is going to fail and the dollar is going to completely crash? And if it does crash, do you believe that's going to be the end of the system that we know and the entire country is going to just completely come to a halt and we're going to lose all of our money? Well, maybe that will happen. Maybe it will happen. There's no way we can tell the future. But we have to let our future selves handle that, those worst case scenarios. But we have to plan for what happens if that worst case scenario never happens. I remember a few years ago, I was with my girlfriend, her friends, and we were having a conversation, and everyone knows that I work a whole lot, so I don't go out too much. And one of her friends says, Lincoln, what if you get hit by a bus tomorrow? Well, what if I don't get hit by a bus tomorrow? What if you don't die tomorrow? What if you live and you chose to not put in the work to be better tomorrow? Or you live, but you never decided to get invested into the stock market, into real estate, or into your own business because somebody told you that the dollar is going to crash tomorrow. There's going to be hyperinflation, which we've never seen in this country, and most countries have never seen it. The vast majority of countries have never seen it, and most countries don't even get anywhere close to it because that's a 50% increase in inflation every month. It's very hard to achieve hyperinflation. It's extremely hard to achieve. It's virtually impossible to achieve, given what we know. So everyone trying to scare you with hyperinflation is just trying to keep you on the sidelines. I don't know why, but that's the effect. That's what's happening. So if you stay on the sidelines and you don't invest because you're planning for the worst case scenario, you're planning for being hit by a bus, but that bus never hits you, and life keeps going, and the stock market keeps going up, but the US dollar keeps going down, you're going to hold cash. And what that means is that the value of your cash is going to continue to crash because you're still holding on to it because you're hoping that you're planning for the bus to hit you, but the bus never comes while everyone else is investing in the stock market, growing their wealth, and the worst case scenario doesn't come until maybe after they die, or after their grandkids die, or after their grandkids die. Our society is only getting better. We're only building better technology. We're only learning how to treat our planet better every day, how to eat better with plant-based foods, Tattoo Chef, Beyond Meat, Impossible Foods. We're only learning how to build more efficient cars so that we're not pumping CO2 gases into our atmosphere and burning our society, burning our planet, well, ourselves, because the planet's will be fine. So we're building Teslas. We're building Lucid Motors. We're building better GM cars, right, to be EV and Volkswagen. Everyone's learning how to do better. We're getting rid of our dependency on oil, on non-renewable energy. We're building windmills. We're building solar energy farms. We're improving how we do agriculture. And during all of that, through all of that, we're decreasing the cost of doing business. That's progress. That's the natural order of things. We progress towards a better society. So if you're planning for society to get worse, the odds are against you. We're only becoming better at this thing we call society. And it's only going to continue that way. That's what I can guess myself, right? I don't know what the future holds, but given the record that we've seen in the past, from where we've come from to where we are today and what we see companies working on today, I can only believe that the future is brighter and that the companies that I'm invested in that are doing well today, have done well in the past, will most likely continue to do well in the future unless something drastic changes. And when that time comes, I will adjust to it. I've seen bad days in my past. I've seen bad days on the stock market. I've had one of my top investment completely go bankrupt. They went through bankruptcy. They filed for bankruptcy while I was holding on to thousands of shares of it and adding more. And I'm still here and I'm better off, and maybe for it. I've learned my lessons. But if I had never invested before that crash happened, because that crash might have happened in the past, back in 2018, 2019, I would have never had a chance to adjust to it, to adapt to it. I would have never learned. And I would have been poor. I would have stayed where I was and had inflation eat away at the value of my cash. So if you stay on the sidelines today, it won't matter if the stock market goes up for you or if it goes down, because you won't be in it to experience the appreciation or the depreciation. You won't have the chance to benefit from the appreciation of the value of the assets that are on the market today and you won't give your future self a fighting chance of handling any bad situations that come at you in the future. You have to trust yourself. You've gotten this far, and I'm very sure you've been through bad days too. But somehow you got through it. Somehow this country got through a Great Depression. We got through a Great Recession. We got through 9/11. We got through a bunch of wars along the way. We got through Civil War. We've gotten through so many things. And our society continues to progress in the right direction. And our economy continues to progress in the right direction. Remember those graphs from earlier I was talking about? With the consumer price index going up, the stock market going up, the producer price index going up? Along the way, our GDP has gone up. We've been producing more goods. We've been producing more value for our society, for the world. I don't see any reason that has to stop. There will always be business. There will always be a need for transactions. So if your companies are producing the goods and services that people need today, and you believe they will need it in the future, then you don't have too much to worry about. Too much that should hold you back from investing, because there will always be something to worry about.
People get too carried away. And first of all, they try and predict the stock market. I had a lot of people in this room were around in 1981 and 82 when we had a 20% prime rate with double-digit inflation, double-digit unemployment. I don't remember anybody telling me in 1981 about it. I studied all this stuff. I don't remember anybody telling me we're going to have the worst recession since the Depression. So what I'm trying to tell you, it'd be very useful to know what the stock market is going to do. It'd be terrific to know that the Dow Jones average a year from now would be X, that we're going to have a full-scale recession, or interest rate's going to be 12%. That's useful stuff. You never know it, though. You just don't get to learn it. So I've always said, if you spend 14 minutes a year on economics, you've wasted 12 minutes. And I really believe that. Now, I have to be fair. I'm talking about economics in the broad scale, predicting the downturn for next year, or the upturn, or M1 and M2, 3B, and all these M's. I'm talking about economics. To me, is when you talk about scrap prices. When I own auto stocks, I want to know what's happening to used car prices. When used car prices are going up, it's a very good indicator. When I own hotel stocks, I want to know hotel occupancies. When I own chemical stocks, I want to know what's happening to the price of ethylene. These are facts. If aluminum inventories go down 5 straight months, that's relevant. I can deal with that. Home affordability, I want to know about when I own Fannie Mae, or I own a housing stock. These are facts. There are economic facts and there's economic predictions. And economic predictions are a total waste. But you should study history, and history is the important thing you learn from. What you learn from history is the market goes down. So every 6 years, the market's going to have a 25% decline. That's all you need to know. You need to know the market's going to go down sometime. If you're not ready for that, you shouldn't own stocks.
So if you're afraid of the stock market potentially crashing in the future, which it most likely will, it will go up and will go down. We know that much for sure, because that's all we can tell. Society goes up and down. So does business, because business operates within the society. And since we're all investing in businesses and not lottery tickets that have no underlying value and fundamentals to determine whether or not they go up and down, since the operations of businesses are fluid and they can do well 1 month and then poorly the next month, and well 1 year and then underperform the next year, the stocks that we're investing in, which are tethered to those businesses, their fundamentals, they will fluctuate similarly. So if you're afraid of the market crashing, you need to find businesses that don't fluctuate as much. That's what you can do if that's what you want to do. But the thing about that is that the less risky your investments, then potentially the less you get in return for your investment. That's how it works. It's all about trade-offs. If you make riskier investments, your upside should be higher. The potential of your upside should be higher. If you make less risky investments, then yeah, your upside will be lower. Your potential upside will be lower. So you have a choice to make. The other choice is to just stay on the sideline and just wait for that bus to hit you, because that's all you see in the future. But where I come from and what I know from the past and what's going on right now, The bus may never come and hit you in your lifetime. And even if it does hit you, maybe it's just a tap. Maybe you break an arm or a leg, but you'll likely recover in due time. Maybe one of your companies will go bankrupt. Maybe one of your stocks will take a dip and then take a few years to recover. But those are likely temporary if you're investing in good companies that you know, understand, believe in, and you plan to hold them for the long term because you see their story, you understand it, and you believe that their team is the best fit to reach those goals, their mission over the long term, and that they can actually make that happen, given what you know about the industry and the customers, the producers in the space, and the competition, and what you believe about society and where it's going in the future. That's why I invest in companies like Tattoo Chef, because I believe the future is vegan. That's why I invest in companies like Tesla and Lucid Motors, because I believe the future is electric. And I want to be in the best companies, the ones that are best fit to achieve that goal. Same thing for SoFi. I believe the future is more centralized. People want more convenience, and they want less fees, less tricks and hoops to get their finances right, to get their money right. Same thing with Open Door. Same thing with Jumia. I believe in the future of Africa. That's where I'm from. I'm from Liberia. We've seen hard days in the past, but I believe that we can make it work. There will be more investments into Africa. There just has to be. The world is running out of places to develop in. And now everyone's making the move to invest into Africa and build it up. So that's all I know. That we've had good days, we've had bad days. We're having good days now, we're having some bad days now as well. But I believe in the natural order of our society to progress towards the right, to swing towards a better day in the future. I don't believe that bus is going to hit me. So I'm going to work hard today. I'm going to invest all the money I can. And if anyone tells me, hey, Lincoln, what if that bus comes and hits you? I'll say, hey, I'll leave that to you. If you can predict the future, go for it. I'm going to plan for the most likely scenario, which is the bus never hits me and I keep living, and I have to figure out a way to build my wealth for that future, because I don't want to do what ifs and those what ifs never happen and I just stay poor and I've never built my wealth and I never retire and I can't support my family and I can't help my friends because I watched some guy on TikTok or YouTube or CNBC tell me, hey, I predicted all the last crashes. I was the big short. Or I saw the 2008 recession coming. And I also saw the 2000 crash coming, the dot-com bubble. And I got it all right. What they never tell you, though, is that they guessed that, they predicted that outcome 100 times before it happened. Because they can't predict the future. All they're doing is guessing.
So you take advantage of these declines. They're going to happen. No one knows when they're going to happen. It would be people tell you about it after the fact that they predicted it, but they predicted it 53 times. And
all they're doing is just talking for the sake of talking and making predictions to get you to click. They're fear-mongering. That's what it comes down to. Because fear-mongering gets clicks, gets views, and makes them money. Usually, they're wrong. And that's just how it is. But what they're not wrong about is that in the future, the stock market will go up, it will go down, and sometimes it will crash. But over the long term, we've seen it go up, down, fluctuate, but then up and to the right. And I believe in the US government. I believe in our society to continue to get better. And so I'm going to be invested. I'm going to be fully invested through it all and make sure that if anything happens, I can survive it. And in the worst case scenario, if I can't survive it, if I lose all my money, I know all I know now. I have the knowledge. I can build back better. Shout out to Biden out there, if you're watching. I can build back better. I've seen it all. I've learned it all. So if I lose all my money, I can start over. I've been poor. I can be poor again. I'm not too proud to start over, but that's a very unlikely case. Most likely, I will survive it, as I have in the past, and I'll be better off for it, and so will you. if you know what you're doing and if you're practicing the bull mentality. And the bull mentality is that we know what we invest in, we understand what we invest in, we believe in what we invest in, and we hold for the long term, because that's how we build wealth in this country. That's how we give ourselves the best chance of success on the stock market. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope that I've helped you get past all the fear mongering. And if you have, if this has been helpful for you, do me a big favor, like the video below, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and go watch some of our previous videos teaching stock market concepts such as what stocks are, what stock warrants are, what SPACs are, and so many more, so that you can understand how to prepare for the future and how to get in and stay in for the long term. And of course, I've shared my own portfolio reviews so that you can see what I'm invested in and get an idea for how I invest. And of course, I would love to hear from you, so let me know what you think about this video below, and I'll do my best, as always, to get back to every comment. And of course, these videos are brought to you by our patrons at patreon.bullacademy.org, who support the channel financially and help me brainstorm new videos to share with all of you. So if you would like to become a patron as well, join us over at patreon.bullacademy.org, and you'll get more access to me and get direct answers to your investment questions. And you will get to engage our Discord channel where we share knowledge and discuss the stock market in real time every day by sharing news, rumors, and new investment ideas, so that we can all do our own research and then come back together and collaborate. And you will have a chance at winning $200 every month. This will be on loyal and engaged patron. So if you're interested in all of that, I hope to see you over at patreon.bullacademy.org. I'm Lincoln with bullacademy.org. Thank you again, and have a great day.